Bienvenidos a Amanecer, soy Amanecer.
Soy de Amanecer.
I'm Amanecer.
Soy Amanecer.
We are Amanecer. We are saving lives. We are creating hope. We are people of faith, making a difference every day in the lives of the very poor of Cochabamba, Bolivia. And why Cochabamba? Because as the founder of Amanecer, Sister Stephanie Murray said, it is something worth doing. Nothing more than seeing a need, a desperate need, and reacting as Jesus would act, with love and bread, with kindness and milk, with compassion and clothes. Amanecer is a new beginning, where the past is forgiven and the future presented. Cochabamba is the heart of Bolivia, a city of over 1 million people, rapidly expanding as the rural population migrates. Beauty flourishes here with tall, graceful, colorful trees and flowers lining park walkways. Wealth is evident here, with high-rise offices and large mansions. Faith, both ancient and contemporary, permeates the culture, and culture thrives here, with the beauty of the Aymara blending with the strength of the Quechua and other indigenous groups. Yet Bolivia is desperately poor, and when you are very poor in Bolivia, you are poor beyond imagination, with many families living on less than $2 a day, living in squalor, drinking contaminated water, sleeping wherever shelter can be found. Such conditions are horrible, yet there are those with even less. And these are the children of the street, who are all too often abandoned, discarded, and deserted by their families. These children live on the streets, sleeping where they fall, eating what they uncover, existing by scavenging, begging, and robbing. We serve these street kids, those who spend their days high on glue, which is cheaper than food and, sadly, more readily available. Often, these children are turned out on the street because their parents either simply do not want them or cannot afford to feed, house, and clothe them. Our mission is to help them, to reach them before life on the street becomes too embedded and neglect, violence, abuse, glue, or other drugs take their inevitable toll. A more recent trend, better for the children, but extremely challenging for Amanecer, is when there is a knock on the door and a mother or other family member hands over children because they cannot be cared for. Our first act is to attempt to keep the family together by providing immediate financial support and coordinating social services. Amanecer is often successful, and the family remains together. However, when there is no responsible adult willing to care for the children, or there is danger of abuse, the children become residents of Amanecer. There is a constantly shifting dance, partnering resources with need, family unity, and children's safety and health. And why Amanecer? Because Amanecer's 9 different houses have saved thousands of lives since 1981 and continue to shape Bolivia's future with the hundreds of children touched each day. Amanecer is a beacon of mercy and acceptance where children learn that the past is just that, the past, and education, discipline, faith-based values, and personal safety and health create a future, opening doors to the world. Amanecer is about success, and success can be demonstrated in many ways, from successful mothers and fathers to successful businessmen and women. However, Amanecer is more about the installation of hope than it is about measuring success. Nothing is possible without hope, and in our overcrowded orphanage, Salomon Klein, a place which might be perceived as hopeless, hope is alive for the children of Amanecer.
En estos momentos tenemos 155 niños. Sí, hay más abandono ahora, ¿no? Hay mucho abandono de padres, especialmente de aquellos que tenemos alcohólicos, padres con problemas de droga o generalmente que también han sufrido el abandono premeditado, ¿no? Que los padres los han dejado a ellos a su suerte, ¿no? Y son aquellos niños que por los azares de la vida ingresan a la institución, pero con traumas profundas ingresan a la institución y con un grado de desnutrición profunda también. Y con la ayuda de arriba, de Dios, se hace.
Salomon Klein is perhaps our most visible house, and it is certainly our most expensive to operate. But it is only one component of Amanecer's complex and many-layered mission, which from the beginning has been offering shelter in the night and the promise of a new day to children and women who live on the streets of Cochabamba. Beautiful sentiments which come alive in the many levels of Amanecer. Casa Nazaret houses young boys, ages 5 to 9, who need love, food, discipline, and shelter. They need a home. They need a family.
Amanecer es compartir como amigos, como aquí me están ayudando, que me comporte bien, no me están ayudando que me escape de aquí y me están ayudando buenas cosas aquí en Nazaret.
Amanecer significa el hogar, parte de una familia. No sé más.
A family, nothing more. What a wonderful statement. For in its simplicity, it carries the message of Amanecer. We are family. Casa Nazaret is a family, with chores and whining, games and laughter, homework and growth. The children become settled, learn the power of love, faith, and discipline, and when the families are ready for the children to return home, Amanecer supports them spiritually and financially. For those boys with no home except Amanecer, San Martin beckons. With its spacious grounds filled with animals, gardens, and workshops, the boys are taught trade skills, are given a bit more freedom, and this is where the real work of attaining dreams begins. When entering San Martin, work, study, and play permeate every corner of the facility. The fabric of San Martin is woven from these threads, and there is an evident edge as over 100 boys interact daily. It is a controlled edge, however, and a successful one, as Amanecer forms responsible, hopeful young men. This emphasis on young men is not a bias, but a reflection of the nature of Bolivian society. Historically, girls were not abandoned and did not live on the streets. When the streets changed, so did Amanecer, a Madre de Dios open to care for women and girls facing the street culture of Cochabamba. Today, Madre de Dios treats women and girls who have been abandoned and/or physically and sexually abused. Here they are loved and pardoned. The vast majority are court-ordered placements, and the staff helps direct these women and girls away from a life of waste and abandonment toward a life of family and security. Part of our mission in Madre de Dios is the operation of our nursery, our daycare facility. Families teetering on the edge are presented with an opportunity to stay together, paying 15 cents a day for childcare so the parents can work and get a little ahead. The children are educated, nurtured, and fed. And they are fed a lot, especially on Fridays, as they may not eat again until Monday. The parents are taught parenting skills, while the children receive a wonderful educational foundation. Compassion and tenderness abound in this amazing facility. Just what does I am Amanecer mean? It means you believe in the mission of Amanecer, which has touched each woman and child who has ever crossed our threshold. It means you believe in the power of action, where Amanecer continues the firm conviction of Sister Francine Schulte, whose vision and strength brought order and cleanliness into lives formerly filled with squalor and chaos. It means you believe that we are here to help and serve others, to attempt to live as Christ taught. It means you believe that change is possible, and that positive change in faraway Cochabamba, Bolivia, is positive change for the world. It means you believe in hope, you believe in family, for that is what Amanecer is, family. We welcome all inquiries and donations, and know that 100% of your money is used for the women and children in need. Welcome to our family. More information can be found at amanecerbolivia.org.
I am Amanecer forever.